Sir. I got this. I've given him all my secrets, Hanshi.
Okay, good. They didn't have them on.
So, like anything else, blade work is a very, very serious and dangerous subject. Like a lot of kids, when I grew up, I always had my little pocket knife, and I had my little shoebox with knives and I just had an affinity with blades. Maybe it's my Hispanic background, I don't know, but I've always enjoyed that. And once I started doing martial arts, I was really, really gravitated towards weapons. Knives seemed just a very natural for me. While I was in Mexico, I studied Mexican knife fighting, which is very, very cool stuff. A lot of my friends were butchers, and they have some very evil techniques that I learned. Some of the guys that worked on my father's ranch were amazing with machetes. So I was actually able to bring some of that into what I did above and beyond the Korean foundation of what I do with my taekwondo. But I've had the honor and pleasure of working with what I consider some of the best stick, knife in the world, from whether it be Indonesian or Filipino, all my brothers here. That's actually one of my pleasures of coming to the gathering every year. But having said all that, there's always a foundation for it. Everything has a rhyme and a reason. It's based off of an angle. It's based off of an intent. What am I trying to accomplish with this, right? And so with a knife, really, what's its job? Rust, slice. I mean, I can do a lot of other things with it, but that's really the bottom line. I'm going to be slashing, I'm going to be thrusting. At some point, that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. Now, by nature, that's always going to create a lot of problems, a lot of bad situations for the person that's attacking to you. But you always want to have options like everything else we do in life, okay? Whenever we pick up a knife, we have to give it the respect that it deserves, because that can someday save your life. And if you take it for less of what it is, that can cost you your life as well, right? So I'm going to show some of the interesting things that we've been working on throughout the years with our knife techniques, okay? So one of the things I've always had a point to say about is that a lot of knife training involves stabbing and kind of thrusting and kind of standing there and posing for you so you can do your technique. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because to me, that's how you actually learn things. It's slowing it down so you can see how you check and cut and do all the, find the different targets and everything. But at some point, you realize that that is in fact very much a basic. It's a basic. Because why? If he's thrusting to me and my technique says I do this, right? But if when I did that, for some reason, that wasn't over and he's still active, I thought I was doing something, and now I can't see because my eyes were cut. You see? So that's a reality. And so we have to take that into consideration. But before you start going there, you got to have some base. You have something to build off of. You have to have some kind of form to break if you're going to break the form. And eventually that's what's going to happen. You're going to break that form. So what we're talking about here is a distance. From this distance here, it's technically a safe zone, right? But that's a misnomer, because it takes one blink of an eye when that person is in again. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, on a thrusting motion like this, right in here, I get my initial motion just by staying on the outside of the line. That's called an outside distance. I don't want to get close enough to him. The same token, if I decide to move in on him, now I'm in here, this is what's called close quarter. So now I'm inside. So I have that decision to make, and that's a decision. Because sure, you have options, but the decision is, do I engage with him, or do I stay on the more outside distance? Because it's very important. Your first nature is probably going to be like, whoa, which is not a bad thing. Actually, it's better to book it out that way. But if you decided to engage with this person, you had it straight in your mind that I need to do something about it, you need to train for it. So, one of the things we do is to automatically start working on the targets that I'm trying to cut. In this case, I'm immediately going for the arteries and to cut the handle holding knife and coming in here and cutting. Training dictates I go in for the kill. That's very, very natural. And depending on how bad I want this.
Okay, OJ.
He's going to get cut. One of the techniques we do in our system is as they attack, I like to cut just on that hand into the fingers, guide. This is called snake cutting, and what's called short insert cutting. Let me slow that down. Let's see if I can repeat what I just did. So I check, and I control. From here, I either stab, or I come with my disarm, and I insert it between the fingers. As I go in the fingers, I start guiding. One of my favorites is also to stab, because then that hand can't pick up the knife anymore. This is called snake cutting. I keep the blade on his body. As I'm doing my snake cuts, we do something called short interthrust. Looks like this. At some point, he gets the point. And then another one of my favorites, like I said, as I'm doing my snake cuts, this is what's called single edge as a double edge. Okay? Single edge as a double edge. And then this is called changing hands. So, now, this is me being successful on that initial line. So if I was taking my technique in here, and I want to go in, but what if it continued? Right? What if he checks and starts to cut, whatever? This is what I'm looking at, right? Big mistake on my part, right? I don't want that. Especially with this guy. So, if it comes in here and I go like this, and he checks, and he tries to cut, well, once again, hello. I stay right with him. And the whole point of it is, it's dictated by what I feel. If I feel opening, I close that void. If I feel being trapped, I untrap, and I stay with his blade. Enough for more.
More.
Slice them up more.
That's so more.
You should use real
Okay, so now what I have here is what's called double knife. So what double knives means is double knives, double cutting. So now when the thrust comes in, and that is something to this effect, right? There it is. If I don't take care of that, look what's happening. And keep going, Nelson. Keep going. Yeah. How do I get in this situation? I don't want to. So, make him pay. He comes in. There's my first. There's my second. Thank you all very much.
Michael, Nelson, I gotta ask you a question. I met a hero today in the elevator. Who was the guy who took all the punishment from you? Where is he? Mario, you here? Yeah. He just left. Let's think about him and give him a round of applause. Not him. Okay, this next gentleman I want to come up, he's going